Okay guys, we're back. We've got this thing sighted in. So to review, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the lower left square out there, and you'll see an orange dot on the center of the target. I'm going to shoot 3 there. I'm going to turn the scope up 4 inches, shoot 3. I'm going to go right 4 inches, shoot 3. Come down 4 inches, shoot 3. Down again 4 inches, shoot 3. Left 4 inches and shoot 3. Up 4 inches and shoot 3. And obviously I'm going to be taking breaks so the barrel doesn't heat up. And assuming this scope is tracking properly, the first 3 should be right over where, or the last 3 should be right over where the first 3 are. So, on that note, that being right's on me. I'm calling that one. I pulled it. Okay, we're back. We're gonna take the scope up 4 inches, which is 16 clicks. By the way, you can go backwards on this thing too. You can go down and then left and up. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to track the scope's movements. But the other key is you always want to aim for the same point that you were aiming at before. If you move it, then it's not going to do you any good. You keep your point of aim the same. Now that one's going to be a little bit right of where it should have been. I pulled that one. It's my fault. Yeah, that one's right. That's a horrible group, where the first one I shot's a beautiful group. But I should mention, these are factory Weatherby cartridges. These are not hand loads. These are, I believe, 100 grain Sierra bullets. If I remember right, they're soft point Spitzers. Off camera, Dick and I were talking, and I don't think about this because I don't live there, but this would also make a really good antelope rifle because it's lightweight. You could carry it without a lot of trouble. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try it. It's cooled down most enough. Okay, now we're back on track. That's a good group for the cross one. I don't know what happened to that top one, but that's a good group. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come down 4 inches. Okay, that's 16 clicks. We're going to let the barrel cool off, and we'll be back with you shortly. Okay guys, to keep track, we've gone up, over, and now we've gone down. I've already adjusted the scope 4 inches down. We're going to go ahead and shoot 3 rounds at this setting. Barrel's still just a touch warm, but should be okay. Been fighting this intermittent rain. Okay. That one's a little left to where it should be. See where we're at here, folks. See, that group's kind of all over the place. Sometimes when you're, my point in doing all this for you, sometimes when you're twirling these scopes, it takes a few shots for the scopes to settle in. So if you're out there, you're better off, at least this has always been my finding, you're better off getting it sighted in and then figuring out where to hold, you know, if you've got wind or excessive range, rather than trying to twirl your scope dials. And this is a perfect example of what I was trying to tell you, because this one appears to be doing exactly what I expected it to do. It will eventually settle back in where it's supposed to, but it takes it a while to get there. So we're going to come down 16 more clicks. Okay. That barrel's still awfully warm, so we're going to have to pause it here and give it a few minutes to cool off. Okay guys, we're bringing her up here. Put the ears back on. I've just been shooting that Hungarian Mannlicher, and while I was waiting on this barrel to cool, and now I pulled that trigger way before I was ready because I was used to a different trigger pull. So something to keep in mind while you're doing this. That's a really, looks like a really good cluster there. Yeah, way hot. We're going to go ahead and set it up for the next batch. We're going to go ahead and go back left now 16 clicks. Okay, I said earlier, sometimes these scopes don't track well, and this one appears to have that issue. Sometimes just dropping it will get that spring to seat, but when you're out in the middle of the woods hunting a game animal and you're twirling scopes, you may not want to make any noise, so that may not be the best idea on the planet. So again, my whole point of this is to show you how this scope tracks. This scope, I believe, if I remember right, I paid $139 for it. It's certainly not a high dollar scope. I just needed a scope for this so we could do a video, and I didn't want the cheap, you know, a really cheap scope, but I wanted something with some decent quality. So it's a Nikon. It's got the lifetime warranty. It's a nice scope. It's got the ballistic reticle that I prefer, but you know, it's nowhere up there, you know, or an upper end Swarovski or a Leupold or one of those high dollar names. So, you know, but it seems to be doing okay. Once it's sighted in, you just don't mess with it. So I'm going to shut everything off, take a little break here, let this cool off, and I'll be back with you. Okay guys, I'm back here in the gun room, and I apologize that I didn't get everything on camera. Started having all kinds of problems with both cameras. They kept shutting down. Just all kinds of grief. So I wanted to show you the end result. Now, it's a little bit hard to tell, and I've got some wrong things circled here, but this is where we started out shooting the group, and it's actually this one, this one, and this one were the first three. And then when I came back, I actually had this one, and this one. And as we go through this target, you're going to see that this is what I was trying to point out by doing this exercise. The scopes don't track that accurately when you start twirling the adjustments. It usually takes a few shots to get a scope to settle in. Then this is the next group where I went up 4 inches. You can really see here the difference. You can really see how the scope doesn't settle in. Now, a couple of times what I would do, is I would take the scope, or take the rifle, and I would drop it on its butt. And the next group, and I've got the wrong one circled here, I had to go back and watch the videos. But this is your next group right here, and it's not too bad. This group right here I didn't circle. Okay, that's when I moved right 4 inches. Then I came down 4 inches, and this next group, get it in the camera for you there, you can see we got quite a big group again. I didn't drop it on its butt to try to settle that scope in. Then we dropped down another 4 inches. You can see this isn't a half bad group at 100 yards. Of this one I dropped the gun on. Now and then the last two I didn't get on video because I was having camera problems and didn't know it. This is where I came back left 4 inches. And then I went up, and then I got these three again. I got these three. So that was shooting the square. It's exactly about what I expected. Eventually the scope will come back and it will settle in, but sometimes it takes a couple of shots to settle it in. So if you're trying to twirl the scopes and say, hey, I want to raise it up 10 inches because the animal's out there 400 yards, you got to be careful, because at 400 yards, this 3-inch group here could very easily, get that down there, this 3-inch group here could very easily become 12 or 14 inches, and that's the difference between a hit and a miss when you're out at 400 yards. So I would recommend, I always recommend not twirling your scopes and just going with a setting and knowing how far to hold above or hold over for windage rather than adjusting them on the fly. But for now, and I wanted to, before I close out, I also shot, I had 4 rounds left when I got done. And I had 4 water bottles up, and again, these water bottles were at 50 yards. And you can see what 1 round did to this bottle. I mean, it just opened it up like a can of sardines, just shredded it. And for comparison's sake, this one here was shot with the 3220, which we also were doing some video work with the same day. You can see this one just punched a nice neat hole in, out, and done. And this bottle was actually just a little closer than this one was when it was shot. And you can see just how the energy of that 240 Weatherby just opened it up. So just wanted to show you the difference in energy. But for now, as always, I want to thank you for watching. We encourage you to check out our website and to check out our other videos here on YouTube. And go ahead and click the subscribe button if you like what you see. And go ahead and contact us through either the YouTube channel or on our website if you have something that you'd like to see we haven't done. Thanks for watching.